Hey everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is the Sagas of the Shimmering Seas presents the Assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice, one of our several games that we are streaming in the same location, where these various games interact and affect each other sometimes. And sometimes the players get mad at each other, even though they don't necessarily know each other super well. And sometimes they get mad at me because I'm threatening other characters who aren't even in their game, but still they get mad at me. What can I say? Such is life sometimes. Anyway, here we are, and we're gonna play this game to entertain you guys. Let's check in with everyone and see how everyone's doing in terms of their beliefs and all that good stuff. And I think we're going to start with Faye playing Juniper.
Okay. Can you mute so that I can?
Oh, sorry. I've been pretty good about that so far.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, the belief in this one, she's gonna circle back to the coming up with an action plan for at least halting pestilence or the plague, possibly without having to kill the person who has a deal with them.
So your intention is to find a way to stop pestilence without killing the person who has a deal with them. That's intriguing. I'm enjoying that already. Excellent. Sounds like a good belief, and I am down. Followed by Jess playing Samhain.
Samhain's going to get words. Samhain's going to verify the information that's on the address that Isla Pale Whisper gave him last time to make sure that is where the prince is actually staying, or if it was a misdirection,
a ruse of some sort. Yes. Excellent. Yeah, verifying information. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do. I like it. Good action plan. Thomas, played by Sarah.
Thomas is going to try to call kind of a family meeting. He's going to see if the psionics, or if there's some method of communication that can let him talk to Fabian and Arciana. If not, he still wants to talk to as many of them as possible, because he does not know many things that could mess up a giant real bad, but he feels like some career pirates might know of some powerful, at least rumored stuff out there.
Intriguing. Fun. Cool. I'm down. I like it. And Nia playing Kazan.
I would like to have confrontation's not the right word, but a discussion with Lady Iria about things and see if I need to rehome myself, maybe.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, I'm down. All those sound like good, actionable, and powerful beliefs. We're affecting the world here, people. We are affecting the world. So we finished last time leaving our giant sea serpent friend chained to the bottom of the ocean, and returned back to the city of Racy in the country of Chalestra, a country that is on the verge of all-out war. There have been lots of small skirmishes and blood on some sides, and clearly we are already on the losing end from the perspective of anyone who has knowledge, but the knowledge is being kept from the people. It's being kept from the citizens, and so they think that this is a glorious, good war for truth and justice in the Chalestran way, and whatnot. It's but they're not really getting the full story, and things are bad. Already we're getting lots of victims from the front lines brought into the city, needed for healing and other duties. And the government is using this as a way to convince more people to sign up to help. They're using the lack of rebuilding that has gone on since the fall of the covering, the shattering of the covering. They're using the lack of rebuilding as an excuse to essentially not conscript, but basically conscript people, particularly those who cannot rebuild themselves out of their own pocket. So it's a rough time to be a Chalestran, in many ways. Meanwhile, plague is running through the city, and everything is in a tidal wave, almost wiped the city off the map, but then didn't. Juniper, let's start with you.
Okay. So in this case, she would have. I would assume the day has come up pretty. It's probably a Tuesday when she said that she would have been at the lighthouse waiting for the person who has taken on the plague.
Mm-hmm.
She would have told her friends and asked if anyone wanted to be with her, they could. But otherwise, she'll be going alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone wanted to come along with her.
The offer is on the table if anyone wants to join. Alan will be there.
I'm there.
Hey, Cass. All right. So we're going to sit down at her usual place. I'm going to point out my buddy to Cass to be like, yeah, he's over there. We're going to have a signal. And if something goes wrong, it's a whole thing. But yeah, no, she's got everything set up. Her spell book is primed and ready. And she has 3 cups for tea.
Yeah, a teapot is brought over by a person who works there. And the person puts it down before you and says, your friend bought this for you. And mixed it and brought it and suggested it for you. I don't know. And she just sort of puts it there awkwardly and turns to leave. You see that there is a piece of paper sticking out from underneath the tea, underneath the teapot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it out.
Yeah, so you take it out, and it's a note in perfect penmanship that says, Dearest Juniper, rather than rely on some sort of signal, I have decided to cast a spell that observes what is going on your table. So if you sense any magics that are currently staring at or looking at what's going on at your table, do not be alarmed. It is me. I thought it best to warn you about this because it seems inappropriate to spy on friends. Sincerely, Alan.
Oh, yeah, and I'll show that to Kaz and be like, isn't that sweet? That's sweet, right?
Very sweet.
Okay, cool. Still figuring out the friendship boundaries. Yeah, so I'll pour the tea, and so Kaz, if something does go wrong, we'll just need to get them away from here because there's a lot of. I just realized there's a lot of water here. This is a coffee shop.
Is there any spell work you'd like me to do before you start? I have protection from evil and good. I have magic circle.
Protection from evil and good might be good.
Okay. Do you want me to cast that on you?
If you're okay with that.
Yeah, definitely. I will cast that on Juniper.
Sounds good.
And it will last 10 minutes with concentration.
Okay. Perfect. So shortly after you cast that, do you have any further preparations that you wish to make?
Not at this moment.
Okay. Then shortly after you cast that, a woman walks in. She's wearing priest robes that are all black, but they have a gray band around the middle. And she sort of looks around, and she's got a low cowl behind her neck, and sees you sitting there at a table for three, and sort of tilts her head questioningly.
I'll wave, just slight wave.
Mm-hmm. She walks over and sits down.
Yeah, Juno will extend a paw, and say, "Hi, I'm Juniper. I'm really glad you decided to come over and visit."
Yes, I was told to be here.
Yes, have some tea. So she'll pour some tea for her.
You know that poison doesn't work on me?
Sorry?
You know that poison doesn't work on me?
I mean, it's good tea. It's not poisonous. Poison ruins tea. You know that, right? The flavor's terrible.
Where we stood.
Okay. Well, that's where we stand. There's no poison in the tea. She says that kind of quietly. So I know you're probably a little anxious, but I just had some questions for you.
I guess I should answer them.
That would be nice. I can also answer any questions you may have. I am aware that you may be working with a... Actually, hold on. Would you want to take this somewhere a little bit more private?
I like having exits. Thank you.
Okay. That's great. So I understand you're working with a person who is very, very powerful and very useful, and also has made quite a number of changes recently to, I guess you would say, the city at large.
I am a devout worshiper. True. You could say the same for any cleric or religious figure.
Of course.
Could you not?
Of course. And
are you not a believer?
Depends on what you believe in.
I'm not. And deny the power of the gods?
I know that the gods certainly have power. I'm not going to deny that.
Well, then, one could say the same about you.
I suppose so. They could. They could deny that I have power, or acknowledge that I have it, or choose to completely ignore it, and that's acceptable. I acknowledge that you have a great deal of power right now, probably more than most would expect. But it seems like it's running a little without purpose.
Power is its own purpose.
But it seemed like, from what I understand, it started with a purpose. There was a reason for it. Is there no reason now?
I don't fully understand what you're getting at.
This would be better if we had a quieter place to speak. Would you like to go for a walk on the beach? Every place is open there.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Let's see, it's an 11.
Say what you mean.
I thought you gained this power to hurt specific people. But now it seems like you're just hurting everybody. What happened to that? Why did you change, I suppose, your method from affecting the people who you actively disliked to everyone.
He was constrained. He needed freedom. Once power is trapped for so long, it needs to fly a little bit. Surely you understand this? When you gain a new tail, don't you try out the spell?
Yes, but you also have wards, and you have proper rituals, and you have conduits through which you channel that magic.
Well, you're a wizard.
Yes.
I am not.
No, you're not.
I wouldn't dare try to constrain my god.
So you're just fine with hurting a great number of people then?
I am hurting no one.
Allowing him to hurt, or them to hurt a great number of people.
You would, again, I say this again, in a state of some disbelief. You are asking me to constrain a god?
To work with them. It's supposed to be a partnership. It's not supposed to be just you opening the floodgates.
You would purge the sickness from the land?
Yes.
And reconstrain my god?
Maybe direct him in a different different place. Not different place, like a different avenue.
You would use him then, like a weapon or a tool?
No, speak to him to see if he would prefer that. Find an avenue that would work for both of you.
This is fine for me.
Why is this fine with you?
What care I? What needs I? This is immaterial. The flesh, these bodies, the people dying. What care I? Why do you care?
Well, because people I care about live here. And people who I don't know, I might care about them if I did know them. Just because I don't know them yet doesn't mean they're not nice. Sorry?
How many people do you care about here?
Do you want me to count them right now, honestly?
Sure.
I have to count how many people I know. Hold on. So she's going through, like, in her head, the guards, all of the other stuff. More than 24.
And are any of them sick?
Are they? That's a good question.
Depends on how you count, but it doesn't seem like it.
No, I don't think so. Not from what I know of, no. But there are people out there who I don't know who might be perfectly nice people who could change the world in some way, who could make a difference to the world, change the fate of it somehow, who are now sick and dying. And that doesn't affect you at all. The fact that you are not allowing...
Why are you so convinced these people will change the world for the better?
Maybe some of them won't, maybe some of them will. But the fact of the matter is, you are unnaturally changing their lifespan. You are personally affecting the time and place of their death.
What's your name? I've been calling you Fox in my head, but that doesn't seem appropriate.
I introduced myself earlier. It's Juniper.
I forgot. I didn't care. My
But
name
now
is
you do.
Tenia.
Kia?
Tenia.
Tenia.
How much do you know of people, Juniper?
I'm learning.
I can save you a lot of time. Broadly, mostly, They're awful. Unrepentantly awful. Disgusting. Oh, I speak about not just the people that other people call disgusting. I'm speaking of the kings and the princes, of people at every level of society, from the Primarch and the council member down to the poorest. Most of them are awful. The worst.
Why would you say that? How would you know?
I have plenty of experience.
And this started. Yes.
No, please.
Oh, go on. And this started at a party. Was it just random that you did this at a party, or were some of those people, did you know that they were deplorable in some way?
I knew that they were there. They weren't my ultimate target, but they started me down a path. They were a good way to hit some people, and if it spreads from there, it spreads from there. That's fine by me. I do not care about the people of this city. I do not care about the people of this society. Your arguments are all rooted in some basic fallacy that these lives are worth saving. They are not. You have not proven that to me.
You said you had an ultimate goal, though.
Perhaps.
Would you tell me what that was?
I have little reason to trust you. So far, all you have done is critique me, complain, suggest that perhaps I should care about others when I know for a fact that I need not.
That's true. I haven't really listened.
She seems surprised with that.
I came here with the intention of listening, and then I didn't, and I apologize for that. What I really wanted to know was the why. You know, beyond a sense of, oh, the whole society is all rotten and terrible and they all have to go kind of thing. I mean, that kind of mindset is that's the kind of mindset that a god would have, not necessarily an acolyte. People are too messy. They always have their own desires. They have their own reasons for joining with a being like that, like any being.
Roll a persuasion check.
$12.
Who's the bodyguard?
Oh, this is my friend.
She has a look around her. You're an enforcer?
An enforcer?
Now, what do you mean?
Throw around your weight. Push people around who are weaker than you.
Generally, no.
She really doesn't.
I will tell you a story, briefly.
Okay.
I, Matthew, am going to omit telling the story in detail, because I don't like it. So I'm going to gloss over it entirely and just recognize that I created something that I don't like and move on. But she tells a horrific story about abuse of power and whatnot. But she does it in a cagey enough way. I'd like you to roll an insight check.
Okay. That's a nat 1, friends.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I mean, she tells a pretty intensely horrifying story about negative experiences that she's had with people in power, and that's the deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, she's not going to try to like sugarcoat it or do the whole like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss / pain that you went through kind of thing.
Sure.
She is going to thank her for telling her.
She then does like a bad lie. This is not my story, of course. This is just a general story that happened.
Of course.
This is what the people of the world are like. And so, no, I do not care if my god takes the entire city.
All right. So her insight hasn't changed anything. She'll ask, you didn't name names at all, which I understand because, you know, we are in public. But the people in power who did this, it wasn't, you know, the at the highest level, was it?
Ask questions if you don't want answers.
No, I want this answer.
Do your research. See who I've already killed at that party. You seem to know so much about the start of this plague. Find out.
Okay. Well, in that case, would you meet with me again in a week so I can tell you?
If you're still alive, sure.
Okay, you didn't actually, like, are you putting the plague on me?
I haven't touched you.
Has he? Have they?
You seem to know better than I.
I mean, will it change anything if I say I spoke with them before?
It impresses me a little. If you catch the plague, it is not from my devising. I have not put it upon you here in any way, shape, or form, but it is out there, and it is
Yes, it is. Yes, I am well aware of that. Well, thank you for specifying. I appreciate that. But again, can I see you again in a week?
Presuming you are alive.
And presuming you are as well.
She nods her head and stands and walks out the door. Alum comes over and slides into her seat. Well, I wasn't certain if I should get involved or not.
That was terrifying.
Right?
That was great.
Very scary. Not a fan.
No.
Hi. Have we? I think we've met briefly. Kazan. Alan.
Yeah, we've met a couple times.
I know. I just, when I'm nervous, I sometimes reintroduce myself. It's a habit.
Okay. So, what do you think? Do we have to throw out this tea?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm really sad. I worked really hard on that tea. I thought you might like it.
Oh, no, Alum.
I mean, it's fine. No, I understand.
Leans in and whispers that the tea is a metaphor.
Oh, a metaphor. Sorry. Sometimes you people with your way of speaking about things, I don't always understand. But
I mean, look at your old books. You spent like 5 pages to explain a sentence. You know this. No offense. I mean, you were great, but when you first started.
Well, sure, but like that was then, and it's been 800 years since then.
Yes, true.
There's
Okay.
nothing like being someone like me to deny the need for certain things. I don't know. I'm flustered.
I can see that. So am I. And just kind of like gestured. She has all 5 tails are just incredibly fluffy. Well, I think I will need to do some research, but you and me, Kaz, we might need to talk about what to do as well. If you want to be on this too, I don't know if I want to get you mixed up in it.
Well, if you have need of me, I think our friendship has progressed to a point where if you have need of me and call upon me, I will of course come through. If you need to, what's the saying? Borrow a cup of rock salt for a spell or something? Sure. Just let me know.
Yeah, I might have to do that. But yeah, I'll do some research, see what we can do. But that's a little disappointing, I'd say. I wish there was some other way to purify the plague to fix it.
I could look into possibilities, although I'll admit it's far from my speciality. There's ways of using certain protective magics to prevent people from getting sick, or to I guess protect parts of the body from the illness in other parts of the body, though that has the ramification of causing that other part of the body to get sicker
Then
faster.
get sick.
Yes, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this might be a situation where we need to reach out to Solon and see if there's a person who does the opposite of what this guy does. Maybe they can help.
Wow. Okay. That's
What?
No, it's a choice, and I respect my friends' autonomy and their choices. That seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Why is that a choice?
I'm just saying, like, don't you think that there's enough of these things around right now in general?
I mean, for all we know, they're probably running around right now. They're probably like that dog that we passed was probably them at this point.
Barky?
I mean, potentially. Like, at this point, do we know about the pigeon situation?
A dog is familiar with these sorts of things. Seriously, is that the implication that you're making?
Yes, that is the implication that I am making. That a dog would actually have all divine seeing power. Yes. That is what I am suggesting at this moment right now.
Over the table, if it's helpful, Sawin would have definitely told them about the pigeon.
Yeah. So I would mention the pigeon. I would be like, the pigeon was flight. I mean, who knows?
Yes,
who knows what's happening?
Of course, they can take any form. I personally would choose a cat, but a dog is fine too, I guess.
No, cats are fine. As a fox folk, she's just a little like, cats think they're so cute. They think they're so adorable with the cute little triangle ears. Yeah, okay. Well, I have 5 tails. Okay, so she doesn't say this out loud, but the implication is there. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna have to do some research on this one. And yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to drink any more tea at this point. Who knows what's in there? So she's gonna kind of just like get up and be like, Kaz, do you wanna go? Alum, do you wanna leave? I'm leaving. I gotta get out of here.
Alum, did I ever ask you, do you know, like, you knew my mom, so do you know Lady Iria?
Pardon?
Do you know a Lady Iria?
A lady who?
Iria.
Irea?
Iria.
Iria. Lady Iria. Iria, a lady.
Okay.
Lady
You don't?
Iria. You don't perhaps mean Lord Isaiah?
I don't think so, no.
Can't say that I do.
Okay. Just curious.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, sure, of course.
It's a 13, friends. I'm right in the middle of the board today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's not the easiest person to read.
Yeah, no.
Despite his he does get flustered, it's true, and he has sort of quasi-mortal reactions, but you also know that like a lot of the affects are learned affects, not real affects, right? He studies the Lady of Quality more than anything else, and so almost all of his behavior is planned, which makes it really hard to read.
Great. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well,
I'm gonna go read and study a little. But if you've needed me, I'll be here. Probably.
Thanks. Probably. I'm probably gonna have to go and talk to Stepwise for a bit. Will you be all right, Kaz? Is there anywhere you wanted to go?
I'm gonna head back to my place. Just let me know if you need me.
Yeah, I will. I hope everything's okay over there.
Seems like it.
Did you get I left a package for you. Did you get it?
Did I get it?
What package did you leave? I've forgotten.
It was a scarf that she had made for Kaz that was stolen.
There you go.
No, I didn't. No, what package?
Yeah, it was like a silver and gold scarf, gold on one side, silver on the other. Over the table, it was stolen by her second in command and given to their girlfriend.
No, I didn't. Did you say silver and gold scarf?
Yes.
So it was definitely stolen.
Oh no. I'll make you a new one.
I have to have a talk with that Harville. No, it's okay. You don't have to. I appreciate that you went through the effort.
Okay, well, a scarf was made. I'm sorry about Harville, but hopefully, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go and try to find, like, I don't know, a magical cleansing spell or something and use it on me about 5 billion times.
Yeah. I have like a purify food and water. Would that work on the water in your body? I don't know.
Wait, you have purify food and water?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a first level spell, so I didn't know. Like, I felt like it would be super deserved.
Okay, so you need to come over to my place when you're done, and I'm going to study you. Okay, that sounds wrong. we're gonna talk about that spell, and we're gonna see about maybe expanding it. Okay,
That's a thought. Yeah.
that's a potential thought. Okay, all right. So yeah, when you're done with Lady Erie, at some point, even like tomorrow or this afternoon or whenever, just come over and let's work on seeing if we can expand the purify water spell.
Okay. I'll drop by tonight if I have time, but if not, then it'll be soon.
Gotcha. Thanks.
So I think we will follow Kaz out the door and see where Kaz goes and what happens.
So she is headed home to Lady Iria's place. And like, I guess around what time is it?
It's morning.
Morning. Okay. Well, first I'm gonna drop by Harville, wherever he's posted.
Yeah, front door.
Front door. Hey, buddy.
Yes. Yes.
Can you get my scarf back?
What scarf?
The golden and silver one that you stole.
Whoa, wait, hold on. What? I didn't, that was for you?
Yes.
It was just there, It's not like it was labeled or anything.
Listen, I'm not, like, can you just get it back? I'm not out here to punish you or whatever. I don't have the time.
Sure, yeah. Oh boy. Little awkward. But, give me a couple days. I'll make it happen. Well, you see, I'm pretty sure I gave that to Arasta.
Mm-hmm.
And well, she didn't really like it when I broke up with her.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how this concerns me in any way.
Right. No, of course not. No problem. I will deal with that. Sorry, and Arasto, because he's Gale. Yay, we forgot. Pardon me. Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. I'll find him and we will, I will, yes, no problem. Sorry.
It was given to me by a friend, so please get it back in one piece or I will be very, very, very angry.
Yeah, why don't you roll an intimidation check?
15.
No problem, boss. No problem at all. Sure, yes, I will. 2 days at the most.
Great. And I just pat him on the shoulder, but very firmly.
Yeah, and he continues to look up at you, because dwarf, and so patting him on the shoulder hard is like he's a lot shorter.
Oh my god, yeah, I just like
looks up at you.
Anyways, I have stuff to do.
Okay.
So
left you, of course, because
yeah. With that, I guess if Lady Erie is free,
yeah, she's ready.
Okay, like knock on the door.
Come in.
Good morning.
Kazan, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. What's on your mind?
That was fast. I mean, nothing else going on with you right now?
Kazan, just speak. What is on your mind?
A lot of things. Really? Do you have time for it?
Of course. She puts down her quill and folds the paper and puts it aside. Turns and sits towards you and gestures towards the chair. It's like a big comfy chair with an ottoman in front of it.
I'll take a seat and I'm just like shuffling nervously. Can I cast Zone of Truth here? Like right, I'll be in it too. And you can say no. But would you? And of course you don't ever have to answer anything I ask, but I was wondering, would you?
She nods her head.
Okay, then I will cast Zone of Truth pretty much right. So we're both in the area of effect.
This must be serious.
So does she not save against it? She
doesn't try.
to it. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is serious. And I'm not good at reading people at all or their intentions. So this kind of just makes things easier for me. I guess we could start out small. So how do you feel about me?
I have come to care about you deeply. As a mother cares for her child.
Wow. I wasn't really expecting that.
Of course not. You never would. You don't seem to see yourself as deserving of the love that you clearly deserve.
I don't know what to say to that. Wow, okay, this makes the next thing I'm gonna ask a little bit harder.
Please. Say what you need.
How do you feel about the Primarch?
Had you asked me this a month ago, my answer may have been different. I have fears, and I believe that strong leadership can protect a country, even if it's just perceived as strong, whether it's strong or not. And for a long time, I saw that, at least as potential, in the Primarch. You don't know what's out there, and the idea of unifying is one that I believe in, to protect everything, to protect all of you. I no longer feel that way. I think the Primarch needs to go. He has done already so much damage, and it is hard for me to admit that I turned a blind eye to so much of it. beforehand.
If I told you that being rid of him is exactly what I have stood for this entire time and was the reason why I even agreed to be by your side, so under false pretenses, would that change anything between us?
I do not believe that one can take an arrow for someone else under false pretenses. You may have seen a position as my bodyguard as a form of advancement, and you may have believed that that advancement was against someone that I viewed as an ally at the time, but I would not treat it as more than that. Kazan, I've honestly lost count. Is it 3 arrows and 7 stab wounds that you've taken from me?
Who counts those things?
Apparently not you. And that says much about you. Much more than the fact that you had a reason to take a job. Who doesn't have a reason to take a job? Is this why you had so much friction with your brother?
Yes. One of the reasons.
My understanding was that the Kava backed the Primarch. But now they are at war.
Doesn't matter. I'm not considered part of the Kava anymore anyways.
You might find allies there.
Maybe, but...
This is your time, please. I want you to feel comfortable. Ask your questions. I've already said enough that if you turn me to the Primarch, I can be assassinated for treason, so...
I have no interest in getting rid of people who don't like the Primarch. I have no interest in that, and besides that, I have come to cherish you. So I wouldn't do that.
She sort of looks down for a second and then looks up and nods.
With that being said, and I drop Zone of Truth if it hasn't gone away already, I'm in a bit of a pickle right now.
Of course. How can I help?
So, where to begin? Do you remember when I murdered my brother in front of the Primarch?
Yes. Of course.
So the only reason I made it out of that room alive was because I made a deal with Yemis. Oh, and before that, Prince Alepum cursed me and took away my healing, and I can't heal.
That's why you don't touch people anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's so isolating. Are you okay?
I don't think there's any way to answer that question. But I do need to figure out what to do with my everything, but that's just kind of the situation I'm in.
Of course.
I'm interested right now in helping out a friend. And this friend lost his patron to the Kraken. So,
Anything to do with the tidal wave yesterday?
a little bit. So, I guess I was wondering if you had any knowledge on the Kraken.
No, I could look into things.
If you have time. I'm not good with
my knowledge
books.
is from outside the planet, not within.
Do you have contact with the other Watchers?
Some. Not all.
Have you ever talked to my mother?
I don't think I should answer that.
Okay.
Could you roll an insight check?
Yep. That was 17.
She really wants to answer.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. I wanted to see if you were on my side or not, or if I had to walk away and break an oath, but
Kazan.
Yes.
Even if I were still on the Primarch side, I would never betray you or leave you.
Why?
Why would I?
Because what advantage do you have of being this way to me? I'm still going to do my job.
This has nothing to do with benefit. It never does. I love you as all, Kazan. That's it.
And at this point, there's just like tears falling. I can't say I understand why.
Good. Stop trying to understand the why of every single thing. Sometimes things just are. You shouldn't doubt that the stars have fire.
Well, with all that in mind, I guess I don't need to pack.
I hope you don't. You are sorry. I just And she turns and grabs a handkerchief and dampens her own eyes, dries her own eyes. To put my mind at ease, you are not in this alone?
No, I'm not.
You don't have to tell me who you're working with. If you're not comfortable with that, I understand the need for secrecy in a society like this. But well, and she turns back to the desk and grabs the half-finished letter and hands it to you. It's a letter. She's sort of drafting a form letter, is what it looks like. It's not addressed yet, but it's very clearly a coded message that says something along the lines of, "I think that you may not be a fan of the current Primarch. Perhaps we should meet and discuss this further."
Who's this? Who's this for? Can you tell me?
I'm drafting a series of them to people that I've come to know, people who I think might be amenable to the change, the cause. I'm pretty confident in everyone I'm reaching out to except one. There's a priest that several people have encouraged me to reach out to. Runs one of the temples here, but beyond that, just people that I know, people I've spoken to.
Okay, this is good, but you're being careful, right?
Yes, more careful than you, I'm certain.
I don't need to be careful. I've got these muscles. Okay. Do we need to get you more security? I'm not around all the time anymore, and I honestly can't be.
Harville's quite competent, and your security team is well trained.
He's mostly competent, but yeah.
The little boy problem.
Uh-huh.
He dates around a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that doesn't. I don't mind that, but it's the fact that he steals my scarf and gives it to me.
He stole your scarf?
Yeah, that my friend made.
Have you fired him?
No, he's good at what he does. He's just.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I'm fine. You need to, listen, I am a voice of calm. That is what my books have done. They've calmed people. More than anything, I am not a rabble rouser. I don't stir people into the emotions. I write quiet, reflective phrases that encourage people to be peaceable and likable and amicable and easygoing. That's what I've always done. But on the other hand, I have managed a medium-sized book empire and run talks and all this stuff. And so as a result, I understand how to organize things, and I am going to be using the relationships that I've built to collect money and funnel it to you. Would you be able to use it? Find uses for it?
I could help it find the right people. That's for sure.
Good. That's all this is. I'm not going to be in the front lines of anything.
I don't want you to be.
I'm not going to be. Now that the assassinations seem to be over,
Need to knock on wood.
I think I'm okay.
I hope so. And if you, I don't know, come across anything about, I don't know, I don't know anything about what's going on with this whole god deal, but if you know anything or find anything, just let me know.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check for me.
Ooh. 12.
Okay, yeah. She looks at you and nods.
Okay.
And that'll be our scene. Thomas, how you doing?
Unmuted.
What do you want to do? What's on your agenda? What's the plan?
Too much stuff as usual. I think that he's trying to figure out. Okay, so like, yeah. Sorry, I can't organize my thoughts for some reason. So, I mean, he's gonna kind of like brainstorm throughout the morning, like what would be the best way to go about getting in contact with everyone. Like, is Ocean asleep right now? Is Fabian like in the middle of something that he hasn't had the time to write 2 words? I'm alive, whatever. It's not important. And he's kind of trying to figure it out while he's like trying to stay as busy as possible so that his mind doesn't wander. He's like, I don't know, writing letters about trying to get somebody in the city to take down the recruitment signs because they're all ending up in the fucking ocean. And
yeah,
if he needs to blow off steam by fist fighting the priest of Yemis in front of the temple, then maybe that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I'm a huge fan.
And yeah, then he when he gets things kind of organized, he's gonna try to go find some psionics.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a quick roll for destroying recruitment signs, if that's okay for you. You're using your people to do this? Or are you doing this yourself? Or
he's sending a letter around to different temples to be like, these paper signs are all ending up in our gutters and drains and washing out into the ocean. The preservation of our natural resources should be of utmost priority right now. It should be the charge of certain people to safeguard these, just like throwing so much shade. And instead they are feeding into the hysteria and letting the beach go to ruin and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, roll a deception check.
Deception?
Yeah. You want to... I mean, I don't think you can call this persuasion because you are being deceptive.
I mean, it's all true, but
I'm not saying it's not true.
But
your intent and your action are misaligned, right? You're not saying I want to destroy these because I don't believe in the war. You're saying I want to destroy these because they're bad for the environment.
2 pseudo dragons, 1 stone.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, So people take you seriously. The temples take you seriously. Several of the guilds take you seriously. And in general, a lot of people will take them down. Sounds good to me. I like it.
Cool.
Free action there. And then you go off and deal with the psionics. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. So the psionics, you walk into the psionics store and you get a very different reception than the last several times you've come in here, because immediately you are recognized. Mr. Dagmar, the priest who suggested that we get involved. You have been good for business.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so glad. It's so very important that, businesses are able to pull through all of this, and we do that by supporting each other.
Oh, of course. Well, come in. Who are we contacting for you today?
Well, I was wondering, is it possible to be able to send something out to 2 individuals at once?
Sure, yes, a 3-way conference call. Sure, no problem.
That's wonderful. Forgive my ignorance. This is such a new convention in the city.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And to be honest, our services are slowly expanding. We're figuring out how to do other things too. We're hoping, not there yet, but we're hoping that maybe in a couple of months we'll be able to do psionic projections where you could actually have like an image of the person that you're talking to, and they could have an image of you, and you could read each other's body language and see each other in person, like you see me and I see you.
Oh, that's so fascinating. That would be very good for business, sort of keep things running, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And there's certainly stories in Abarak of people who've been able to pull this off before. There's a small city down there that has a tale of this, which is quite intriguing and a possibility that we could explore this further. So we're taking what notes we can from them and seeing if we can push the skills a little bit further. Though of course it would be reserved for our exclusive clients. It's not something that any Sina can do. Anyway, who are you looking for?
Well, I'm trying to get in touch with and he pulls out Fabian's wanted poster again, and he pulls out one for Oceana.
Yeah. He says, "Okay. Yes. Yes. This is the man you contacted before, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. That'll be very easy for us to arrange. I don't know about her, but let me do some research. Do you have any guesses as to where she might be?
Well, actually, that's a good question, because if she was approaching Racy, but it wasn't safe with everything going down a month ago, like, is there some sort of check that I can do for like places where they might make burr? That would be.
I'll take history. I'll take nature. I'll take not arcana, but I'll take anything that you think might be appropriate.
17
Survival?
history.
I take survival. Oh, you said history? 17 on history. Beautiful. Yeah. There's an island that's quite popular with pirates. That's not far from Hille, the city of colleges. That's certainly a possibility. Or the other one would be Terra Vest was a very popular destination for pirates during the days when the Tuan Empire ruled, because Terra Vest was deeply corrupt, and so people would go there to gamble. It was basically Vegas for a little while there. So that's certainly a possibility as well. So one of those two places.
Which one is closer to Racy?
Hille. Hille is in Chelestra. So.
Okay. So if that was like a month ago.
Yeah. He says, pulling up the map to make sure that he's not lying. Yes, it is. You could just.
Where's a D2? I need to flip it.
You can do it on roll 20.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, /roll space 1d2.
Well, I did
on the die roll.
I did very well on my HTML project, by the way, for those following along on that, but I don't know how to type that. Can you repeat it one more time? /ROLL space 1d2. Oh gosh, this never works for me. Okay, well, I'm gonna need to do that again because I forgot I was going heads and tails, and you know what? Okay, yeah, probably around Terra Vest then, because the closer place might have been where she went first, but it's been a month, so they've probably gone somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. He says, "Great. I'll search for her there. I hope if she's there, then we'll be able to get in touch with her. No problem. Why don't you? Is the same room okay? It's same setup and all that."
Oh no, of course.
So he opens the door and lets you in. It's one of their 6-foot being tall rooms rather than their 4-foot being tall being rooms and their 8-foot tall being rooms. They've got distinctions for all three. And so you're let in, and he comes back not far later and says, "They're both ready if you're ready."
Oh yes, of course. Oh, that was so fast. Thank you.
Yes.
He's thinking, Mercury, can you please keep an eye on the door?
Mercury's got it, boss, and flies outside and lands on the thing, on the lintel.
Oh, I guess it's based off a stone. Can anyone hear me?
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, you're alive.
Sure, yeah. Why wouldn't I be? Are there?
Is everyone there all right?
Yeah. What?
Well, I suppose I was just worried if anything terrible had happened to the lot of you over there when, I don't know, the giant covering surrounding our world collapsed and society was briefly thrown into chaos from which we're still recovering. But don't mind me, I'm glad you're safe.
Father, the light show several weeks ago, that's what Thomas is speaking about? Oh, that thing! Oh, yeah, we had a great party. I was hungover for like 4 days afterwards. Let me tell you, there was this... I probably shouldn't tell you the story.
This makes so much sense to me.
It was, no, it was beautiful, right? I mean, was it scary? Is it a problem? Are there... Father, yes, there are lots of problems as a result of this. Surely you have noticed in your retirement? It's like, and you hear him taking a sip from a drink in the middle of the phone call or whatever. Nope, not really. Just nope. We're all good here. Didn't know anything. We had some waves the other day, but nope. Everything's good here. Why? Is everything good there? Are you okay, Thomas?
Well, I'd watch out for any creatures, deities, or other creepy crawlies from beyond the stars, because apparently that was a shield up around our world, and it's open invitation at this point.
Wow.
So just keep an eye peeled.
Wow, wow. That's
Yeah.
I wonder if that means I can get back to the moon.
Okay, I need you to tell me right now if that was true or not, because I'm hearing a lot of talk lately about you and the moon, and I'm about 1,000,000% certain that was just pirate nonsense.
What was
But did you go to the fucking moon?
Of course. I told you that. I told you that myself.
It literally did not sound like you went to the moon.
Well, I mean, I can't help it if you don't believe me. My stories are awesome. All of my stories are true. I told the truth. I am very honest for a pirate.
Like half of those declarative statements are utterly false, but all right.
Oceana chimes in and says, like the time you escaped off that island by yourself? Well, okay, so I stretched the truth occasionally, but not like that much. I'm generally telling the truth. I'm an honest pirate.
Well, I'm glad that everyone there is doing so well. Oceana, so I suppose this means you're in the Terravest area. I was wondering if you'd made it that far, but you know, the farther away from the city at this point, the better.
No, I've been here just a little bit, enjoying some... They've got a entertaining little fighting contest here that I've been enjoying.
Oh, fascinating. An old student of mine and some friends are in the area. I don't suppose... I mean, if you see... well, I don't know. Just a bunch of... Well, I can't really picture them. In my head, they all look like little ducklings, but I suppose that's just age. Anyway, never mind.
Condescension, one or the other.
Well, I wanted to actually pick both of your brains, if you don't mind, about something that's fairly important.
Sure. We're in my brain already. Might as well pick it.
Well, it's extremely important, actually. I've lost a very dear friend of mine, and they're in quite a bad situation. And my aim is to liberate them from it as quickly as possible, because they are in rather constant torment, and it weighs on me, and part of it I know to be my fault, and they don't deserve it. And
no one deserves torment. Seriously. They're trapped somewhere. They can't get a Mai Tai.
This is going to sound like something you would say, but yes, they are actually chained to the deepest bottom of the darkest part of the sea right now. And as far as I can tell, being guarded by an utter asshole of a monstrous beast, violent fucker, who I very, very dearly need to stab. And the problem is I don't really know of anything big enough to do the job, and I was wondering if the two of you might have heard of something lying around for such a purpose.
You're talking like magically big, right? Not like down there big.
In this case, yes. In front of you, to my
boy. Well, I want to help you, Thomas, as best I can. A lot of those
wives' tales, legends,
sure,
sea shanties, anything.
Oh no, of course. I've got a whole roster of things. The thing is, a lot of them are like sealed away and like hidden or locked to time, or lost for some reason or other, because people try to lose things of power after they use them, so that other people won't get them or whatever. Sure, I can try and help as best I can. I've got a whole Rolodex of things, but how are you going to get there? I don't know anything inside Gracie.
Well, do not quote me out of context on this, but it might be worth leaving the city for a brief time.
You gonna come here and visit me? I mean, admittedly, I'd have to clean up my act.
Do you have a giant killing spear on that island? Or would you just be happy to see me?
I would be very happy to see you. I'd have to clean up my act a little bit before you got here, to be fair. But we could make that happen if you were coming. Well, let's see. Oceana, what do you think? Do you know about?
Oh gods, darling, I'm so sorry. I forgot you were on the line.
Sorry.
It's nothing I haven't heard before. Many times, too many times. What were you saying, Father? You know about the isle in the center of the vortex, right? Sure, yeah. Well, there are legends that the vortex was made by one of these beings, if you know what I mean. One of the things that's floating around a little bit, and the civilization inside of there has been cut off from the outside world for a long, long, long time. But my understanding is that they have magics there that work in a different way than our magics, and that well, they might be able to cut through some of the protections that are here and might be able to help you in some way. That's certainly what it mirrors what I've heard, Father. It'll take me a week to get there, Thomas, but I'll pick you up in a week.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gods. I didn't expect that offer. Yes, I suppose so. Yes, it's
You're not
quite
gonna find someone else to sail you through the vortex. It's got to be someone like me, and there's no better ship's pilot than me. Well, ain't that true? I made sure of that.
Give the girl her own credit, Fabian, for God's sake.
Maybe. She's good. 1 week? That work for you, Thomas?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
I'm sorry to take so much time. It'll be hard leaving your friend in that situation for so long. I know what that's like.
After everything that happened here in the city, I was hoping that that I could keep the people around me from having to experience such a thing again. But apparently, life is cyclical. And I'm beginning to take quite a different view, and perhaps I owe both of you an apology for saying that stabbing may not be the answer to all of life's problems. All right, I may have been wrong.
Roll a persuasion check.
$13.
Thomas, look, I'm a pirate, not a humanitarian. But how are things in Racy?
Well, we are recovering.
Thomas, it's me. Just tell me.
There's quite a lot on our plate right now. We have limited resources, and it feels like everything that slips through our cracks that slips through the cracks of what we can handle is getting immediately scooped up by the Primarch and his for their own purposes, and they're feeding people into this meat grinder of a war, and they're letting this plague run rampant, and I have some capable friends.
Do you need benefactors, wealthy patrons?
Honestly, at this point, we need all the help we can get, yes.
Sorry, I'm from the other side of this. I have a ship, and I'm leaving Terravest. I can bring grain, food, but I need to get paid. I'll give you good rates, but I'm going to need gold. Can you find someone to pay us?
No, I'll definitely ask around. I feel like, no, you know me, darling. Give me a day or two and a fundraiser or two, and I'll shake the trees.
See if you can find 20,000. I'll bring the fleet in.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Oceana, dear, could you leave? I've got a few words to say to your father for just a second.
Oceana, if you encounter a General Quick Eyes, please don't stab him. Thank you.
Yeah, she just hangs
Damn,
up.
I think she's hung up.
So remember when we met and I was not, this guy, but rather in a different shape?
I remember you.
How did you think I got to that other shape?
Someone who travels as much as you do. I mean, there's quite a lot of things in the world just because we haven't heard about them in this corner.
Yeah, that was the moon spirit.
Okay, so there's...
She did it for me as a favor because I wanted to have Oceana, and then you were the obvious choice, and...
thank you. I always knew that was how you truly felt, but it's good to hear it out loud.
How I feel. You're the one who's in the city. I'm wondering my ties. I invite you every time we speak. You're the one who's got the whole social responsibility thing going.
Maybe if I work quite hard, I'll get to take a load off and maybe go visiting at some point, but
you're always welcome. But yeah, just thought I'd refresh your memory on that, because I mean, I don't know if I ever actually told you, but yes, that was.
Well, in that
a
case,
favor
the moon
from
has
the
my
moon.
highest esteem, and
Oh God! I knew
thank
you were
her
gonna
for her
react.
service.
Whatever. Okay, that's anything else you need, Thomas?
Give everyone my love and stay out of trouble.
Do I look like I'm in trouble?
You're always in trouble.
And he hangs up.
Per Mercury, has anyone been circling?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Salmon, how you doing? Thank you for your patience.
I'm doing. Has Osthos decided what he wants from me?
He has.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
You want to have that conversation?
I think we should have that conversation before I go getting myself into more problems.
Sawin.
Yes.
What are you doing?
You already know the answer to that.
That is very true, but I've been told that it's like polite to ask or whatever.
It is polite to ask, but I also just assume that you being by yourself for so long that you might not want to do small talk.
Truth be told, I don't mind. Small talk offers all sorts of opportunities to trick people. Not, to be fair, that I'm trying to trick you, oh loyal servant.
Yeah.
So, I had a thought. It's just a wee bit of a thought, not a huge thought, just a little bit of a thought. But a thought about what it is that I want from you in exchange for all the powerful goodness that I'm going to provide you.
Yes.
I was thinking about what would be funny.
What would be funny?
What would be a good trick, you know? And here's the thing. These Celestian gods are messy, for my taste. They don't have clean cut anything. They're constantly changing. They're all short-lived gods and all this stuff. I think that one of them needs replacing. Smoothly, without anyone knowing.
Yeah.
I just think it would be funny to have all these Celestrians worshipping a Prian god and not knowing it.
You know, there was a man several months ago to whom I gave a reading with my cards who didn't like the fact that I was using a gift that was given to me by my dead friend just because it happened to have Prian gods on it. So I could say that I'm not totally off board with this.
And it seems to me, just from my perspective here, that you're already in conflict with several of them, at the least. Now, I understand that you have a preference for, as you so fondly say, Fish Yemis over Girl Yemis. And if you want to take out Girl Yemis and leave Fish Yemis in charge, that's fine by me. I have no design for the position of Yemis in particular. But, you know, Tamden, Dawa, really anyone. It's your call.
Thomas would put my head on a spike if I replaced Tamden. So that's out.
Thomas does not need to know about this. And again, your call. I'm not
Well-
pushing any position.
Well, there was a god that I impersonated. Well, there's several gods that I've impersonated thus far.
I knew I liked
Time
you.
in
I've done
Celestia.
that too.
But I think I don't want to do the entirety of Celestra a disservice. For the in the name of a prank. I think if anything,
I would still be their god. I would do all the duties that a god does.
you would just take personal amusement for masquerading as that god.
I mean, in all intents and purposes, what I'm speaking about is not masquerading as the god, but actually becoming the god.
Okay. So then, to make sure I understand and I'm on the same page, you, for instance, Jess has forgotten the name of the god that does shelter, the cave god. Is that Sinanar?
Yes, Sinanar.
So would you be taking that god's name or would you be using your own?
I would take the god's name, I presume. I mean, the goal is for them not to know that there's been a swap at all. And then I would be, if Sinanar is your choice, and we take out Sinanar, then I would be the god of shelter here in Celestra, and provide shelter to those who pray. Or if Tashi, the deity of storms, that could be a good one. I could do a good storm impression. That would be fun. Or perhaps I mean, Dawa's the goddess of ships. I could do that. A little bit less my thing. Maybe Gyatso. If you don't like Gyatso, we could do Conquest. I could do that. I don't want to do the Akut song. They're all dead, so that's less fun for me.
But then you'd have your gamut. You'd have your choice. No, I think I would be most agreeable. I would be most agreeable to replacing Sinanar because that is what you have done for Prian. And it's what led me to make a deal with you in the first place. You helped protect civilization. Yes, it was a trick on Kultix, but
Careful with that name. I wouldn't use it that often. Just saying. But yes.
Wait, what was that?
I said careful with that name. I wouldn't use it too often.
Well, I'll mind my P's and Q's then. And I think that's what I liked most about you.
Well,
or at least what I most liked about the fable. Well, the truth.
Well, if that is what my fan feels is most appropriate, then who am I to say no?
I think even so someone's also just going to say, like, even if it comes out that it was a trick, I don't think people will remain too upset for too long because you're still performing the duties that weren't really being performed anyways, currently. Because I haven't seen that here at all.
Exactly. It's a prank, but in many ways it's a victimless one, you know? I'd probably be better at it than most of them anyway. I'm pretty good at being a god.
Yeah, I would say so. I think I'm okay with that. I think that is a bargain that I can follow through on.
Well, then a bargain it is. And as a bargain, an oath.
All right.
Well, this is fun. I'm excited. Don't you think the possibilities are endless?
I do want to caution you that I, being in my particular position as a mortal and currently in your service for the foreseeable future, that this particular prank does not become a common occurrence. Or this particular nature of a prank shouldn't become a common occurrence.
You're suggesting that I not do this with all the gods in Celestra?
That is correct. I'm suggesting that you do not do this with all the gods in Celestra.
Okay.
Can I tell if he's lying to me? Or like...
Yeah, if you want to roll an insight check, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
If you want to spend your inspiration, you should feel free to if you have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. What happened?
Yes, you can definitely not tell whether the god of lies and trickery is lying to you.
So someone's just gonna say, like, because if it does come to that, then we are going to be at odds.
Solomon, in all earnestness, I have no desire to be all of the various gods in Celestra. I promise you this.
Okay. Sawa doesn't fully believe him, but Sawa's just gonna say, okay, and leave it at that.
Okay. And I think with that, we will close this half of the game and take our break, if that's okay.
Before we do that,
Fort Thomas.
is it possible to retcon something really quickly? Because I had it written here in my notebook and I got super distracted. I had like Iska Water Bearer with 3 exclamation points next to it because I knew he'd be talking to Fabian, and she asked Thomas to convey her regards. So I think especially when the thing with the moon came up, he would have been like, Iska says hello and she's working on a contraption for, water distillation, and she said to say hi.
Wow. Glad that's working out for her.
Oh yeah, she's got a shop. She's doing quite well.
That's fantastic. Good for her. Thomas, I'm just never going to understand people who work for a living.
Well, some of us have to. I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
But why? I mean, there's literally food that grows out of the ground and you can eat it. And you know what? It's freaking delicious.
There's literally a child in the alley across the street trying to eat rocks. I'm going to buy them something when I leave here. God's sakes.
Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to touch a nerve.
Be good. I love you.
Love you too.
Aww.
I make a clicking noise with the rock.
And, I think with that, we will take our break. See you guys in about 10 minutes. Hey, everyone, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your break. We certainly took a break where we talked mostly about apple pie and frozen fruit and deliciousness. It was a good thing to do. And one of the reasons that we can do that is because we here have a fair bit of privilege. And that is something that we like to be cognizant of and aware of, and something that we like to encourage you, yes, you who is watching this, to be aware of as well. I highly recommend that you look at and examine your life and what privileges you have, and look for people around you or in the world or in some way related to something that you care about that don't have as much privilege as you, and try to find a way to support them. I don't know what that is. I don't want to tell you what that is. I don't know your life. That would be presumptuous of me. But look for something that someone needs and try to find a way to give it to them. Sometimes that's money. Sometimes that's support. Sometimes that's a friendly ear. Sometimes that's the benefit of the knowledge that you already have. But try to find people who might need something and just gift it to them if you can. If you are enjoying our content, please follow our channel. Really appreciate any follows that we get. We really appreciate any subscriptions we get. It makes, truth be told, it just feels good. It's nice. And we appreciate it immensely. And we've got other shows on this channel. We've got 4 shows running on this channel right now, probably more at some point or other. I don't know. We've got 3 shows set in the Shimmering Seas. That's our Thursday morning show, as well as our Thursday evening show, which you are watching currently, and our Sunday afternoon show, which has just been moved. It's now going to be at noon. Yes, 12 noon is going to be that show. That's Pacific Standard Time, so slightly earlier in the day for those of you on the East Coast and West Coast, and really wherever you are, slightly earlier. We had a scheduling conflict, and we fixed it by moving it to noon. So I'm letting you know that starting this Sunday, that show is going to be at noon. You can tell that I've said it a lot. Also on Fridays, we have a show where we check out a lot of different RPGs. We try different systems, we explore different games, we see what they feel like, and try to understand how to play them well. Right now, we're in the middle of playing Quest RPG, a very sweet RPG that is designed for a very sort of simple, straightforward, but we're telling a pretty fun story with it, with spies and, I don't know, all sorts of good stuff. Some of this cast is in that right now. Nia's in that. Wave Nia. Nia's one of our regular cast members. And right now, playing Quest RPG with us is Faye as our guest star. Wave Faye. And all that good stuff. So please come check out that stream as well. That's 4:30, 5:30, 5 o'clock. I'm so bad at times. And I would tell you to look in the doobly-doo, but I'm pretty sure we changed the times of all the shows in the last week, so the doobly-doo is probably wrong. But nonetheless, come check that out as well. Hey, if you need notifications when things happen, you could follow us, and then you would get a notification when these things happen, which would be great. So please consider coming, checking out, and supporting some of our other content. Back to it. Let's go different order this time. Thomas, let's start with you.
All right. Okay. I think that with the knowledge that he may be away from the temple sometime soon, he probably needs to head back over there, and he's going to try to figure out basically who we can trust to kind of hang in there and kind of be leading things, so they have at least a week to train before he has to peace out. But actually, no, before, that's going to be down the road. That's going to be, I need him to talk to somebody in the group about this. I'm trying to figure out who.
I think that any of them are potentially good options. I would consider that my internet connection is slightly unstable, and I apologize if I flip out.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no. Okay, I'm still.
I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way again. Okay, he's going to go talk to Juniper.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's do that. Juniper, we will see you. Let's see. I think you bump into Juniper on her way home. We'll follow Juniper home shortly after this, because I know she wants to have a conversation, but we'll bump into her somewhere between the lighthouse and Mella's place. That sounds appropriate? on a beach, perhaps.
Always a beach.
Sounds good to me. You live on the beach, you might as well go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of us were lucky enough to grow up in Florida, but it's okay.
Yeah, right on the other side of the street.
San Francisco.
Nice.
Let's do this thing. So, Thomas, you see, I think you actually see like a hurried Juniper sort of fluffily walking away.
Is there any other way?
Yeah. Did she have five tails last time you spoke to her? Or is that relatively new?
No, he would have seen her with them. I think he might have been a little too harried to comment on them, but we technically would have leveled up like in between the ceremony and the stuff that followed right after.
Fair enough. Okay. Then you see her little five-tailed form walking down the beach, heading home.
Oh, Juniper.
Oh. Yes. Oh, Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Would you mind? I mean, as long as we're here, are you in a terrible hurry? Do you have a moment?
Sure. Is everything okay? Have you heard anything or?
Nothing about that.
Okay.
It's something that I've been working on, and I want to. I was able to speak with Oceana and Fabian, and actually, it's quite great. Oceana's going to. She offered she's going to be here in a week, and she has what sounds like a grain supply coming for the city. So that's greatly neat. All I need to do is locate 20,000 gold in a week. I'll figure it out. I'll make something happen. I'll find a way. But regardless, she and Fabian kind of they told me about something. A vortex, it sounded like. A civilization cut off from, this part of our world. Old, just your typical old legends that come up every day.
What is their life?
People think I invite a lot of drama, but you know what? You've never tried to spend a week with a pirate. They may be able. Oceana might be able to give me a lift out to kind of explore that and try to see if there's any tool that's out there that's maybe of use in shoving directly up the Kraken's ass.
Okay, yeah. Do you need help with that?
I mean, probably. I haven't really thought it through. I haven't willingly left the city in a few years, and before that, it was a few decades. I leave the city under protest, usually.
Thomas, and she's just gonna put a paw on his shoulder. Are you asking me to go on a pirate ship with you to a void island where magic happens?
If you don't have anything better planned.
Thomas, have I told you that I love you? She's just gonna hug him.
Oh, he bends down to facilitate that and hugs her back.
Thank you, tall friend.
Yeah, I'm a bit at 6s and 7s. I've got to figure out what to do. I've got a week to find this money. I was thinking about doing. Oh, hold on. Can you do that little thing you do?
Oh yeah, let's go near a tide pool or something.
Oh, there's one right over there because I know what those look like because I've grown up by the beach.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so we'll go buy some like rocks near the water or something.
Excellent.
And-
I'll show you the best rocks that I know exist.
Yes, and you can pretend like you're telling me a story or something while I set this up, and then I'll set
Let
up
me
the
explain to
little
you why
circle.
sandbars are a fragile ecosystem.
Oh God. Okay, so she
Just
kind of
as a
hurriedly.
small aside, of course, the rocks that Thomas immediately notices are rocks that are considered sacred to Sinamar.
Is that bad?
Not yet.
Okay. So I'm gonna just do this little spell. All right, what's up?
I was thinking about doing some petty theft. Mercury is quite good at getting in and out of places. I really should have asked Oceana when we were on the line. I do have that bottle of explosives, and it's occurred to me recently that there's really no good reason for soulwood to be mixed in with earth's blood or whatever, except to make it look as though it came from Sunera, where soulwood, of course, originates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as irresponsible as it would be to sell it to anyone ordinarily, it may be a bit of an urgent situation to get it out of the city. I wonder, honestly, if she'd take a bit of that and barter, because that was supposed to be quite valuable when we found that suitcase of it, and I do have a bit left over, but that's not going to be enough to satisfy. And, you know, it occurs to me that, you know, the Temple of Yemis should be involved in funding the nutrition of their community. Perhaps there's something around there that Mercury could liberate. I'm a felon.
No, you're fine.
No, oh gods, oh, this is what has happened.
Thomas, it's okay. It's okay, Thomas.
I'm having a crisis. I'm
I
fine.
have my own resources. We'll figure out the money, and you know, honestly, if we get this grain and we distribute it under the order of we're not the Order of the Ocean anymore. What are we?
We don't have a new name.
Under our new name.
Hold on. What do you mean we're not the Order of the Ocean any fucking more?
We changed our name during all of the hubbub.
I was not there for that. Thank you so much for keeping me in the loop. Greatly appreciate it.
This is like 2 months ago.
Everybody but Thomas was involved in that episode, incidentally.
Okay, so we had.
Well, fuck.
But if we distributed it from the new Order of the Ocean, putting our names to it, then we are attributing ourselves to a good deed that helps the community. So I think no matter what we do, we should distribute it through us.
I suppose, but I really... It is against my nature to want to take credit for something like that in any way, but I also understand what you're saying and how it could be beneficial in establishing that the Primarch is not behind this.
Yep. And it's okay. I'll take the credit if you're okay with that.
Oh, cheers.
It's all anonymous.
All right. Thank you for volunteering.
You don't have to feel bad. We'll literally leave some of it at your doorstep of the temple from the Order of the Ocean, so they won't associate you with it because it came to you.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I'm sure your pirate daughter will be okay with that. That is such a cool concept.
She is extremely cool. What do you mean? How does anyone get a daughter, for Christ's sake? I mean, I don't know the particulars, but...
I mean, sometimes you just find them.
Oh, do you know?
Well... Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll find out how to get the money.
Should I just go all in? Should I try to have Mercury steal from the Primarch? Should I... You know what,
Okay.
Oh, Mercury, you're like right there.
Well,
don't mind me.
Totally steal from the Primarch if it means that we can get the Kraken back.
Yeah, we can...
Okay, well, hold on one moment because this is going to be undignified. And he scoops Mercury off his shoulder and he's just kissing his head and just
hey, boss.
Chin scratches.
You hear Mercury
in the scales
leaning in your head while simultaneously licking your face.
Yep.
Okay.
That's on brand.
So what I can do is If Mercury can meet me on my way to work, I can make him non-detectable, and I can make him invisible. If he can get it out within an hour.
I don't know what other wards are going to be. Okay, I have to find an entrance that's accessible, but yes.
We can
I like
always
this.
steal from Evangeline.
Is she still alive?
Yeah,
Has
she's
anyone
still
heard
alive.
from her?
Can we just rob her blind?
That's very disappointing.
Oh, sorry,
I was really hoping that the ruse might have worked.
No. We could just rob her.
I really, that's so messy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are we bad people?
We're not bad people.
I feel like these are desperate times, don't you?
Yeah, desperate measures. I don't okay, it's money that came from ill-gotten gains because they're exploiting the poor and they're exploiting the people under them. So we're taking the money that they exploited from the poor and redistributing it through food.
Well, and just also making sure that people's bloody taxes actually go towards things that they need. What a fucking concept.
I'm not trying to invent Robin Hood here, but I kind of am.
Of course you are.
Well, it's true. He's been placed as a steward of this city and this area of Chalestra, and he's absolutely mismanaging the hell out of it.
So there you go. If we steal from him, then...
All right. Okay, I feel less bad. Oh, I should have told Oceana that her assassin flaked, and really he should owe her twice now, but I'll tell her in a week.
So is anyone else coming on this?
Do you think we should
adventure?
tell Salwan and Kaz? Because, I mean...
We could all go.
And that would make me feel much better about it as well, but we'd just be leaving the fucking city. I already hate leaving the fucking city.
Just for a little while. We'll be back.
We're sailing into a void, so unclear, but...
No, your pirate boyfriend went to the moon.
Not my boyfriend, thank you.
Pirate husband?
Baby daddy.
Your pirate baby daddy went to the moon.
I have established this is non-fictional, yes.
See, there you go. Void is fine. I've never actually been on a boat.
How did you get here from Sonara?
Okay, I've been on a boat once.
Have you?
I was asleep through most of it.
I mean, I don't know. You have magic and everything.
It's walkable.
Yeah, it's walkable. Then no, I was not on a boat.
There's overland travel. It's the same continent.
Yeah, then I was never on a boat. Never. Do not get me on a boat. But in this case, pirate boat, yes.
I understand exactly how you feel.
Okay, then it's agreed. We should let everybody else know.
I'm going to have to figure out who I can leave in charge of the temple, that it won't be either on fire or completely subverted by the time I'm back.
We'll make sure somebody's in charge.
Fuck, I wish Caliban were in town. Well, I'm sorry. I've kept you long enough. You've probably got things to do. We should meet up with everyone at some point so that I can ask them to accompany me on a boat as we sail into a void.
Yes. That sounds delightful.
I am so glad you think so. It sounds the opposite to me, so that enthusiasm will carry us.
I'm sorry, this just sounds really interesting. I would really like to study how this came about. So, yes, let's do this.
All right. I'll give Mela my best.
All right, sure thing. She's gonna dispel that magic and head on over to Mella's.
Okay. And of course, the camera will follow you there and allow you to set up your scene as you see fit. Mute. Holding on for mute.
I'm not muted. Can anyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, it's not the mute, it's my headphones.
Got it.
Yeah, so she is going to want to speak to Stepwise. So she's probably just going to be studying a bit before then.
Mhm.
But yeah, she mostly is wanting to have a bit of a convo with her.
Sure. Yeah. So Mela comes in. How do you let Mela know that you want to have a conversation with her? Because normally she'll call you, but like obviously, like if you need her, she's gonna be there if she can. But like, what does that look like? Do you leave a note out on the dining room table that says, "By the way, I'm studying, but I'd like to chat with you," or do you like tell one of the guards, or what does that look like? Can you put us-
She is going to leave 2 empty teacups that are obviously ready to be filled.
Okay. Yeah. So you hear the clattering of porcelain as Mela enters into your study room and comes over to you and puts a teacup on the table and sits down at the on the table beside the chair beside the table and looks at you.
Mela, I know things have been a little disastrous, fucked lately.
True.
Yes, and there are some ways that it can get better that I know I'm working on and some friends are working on. And it definitely could have been worse yesterday. But thankfully isn't.
Tell your friend that he did a good job with the service.
Thanks. I'll let him know.
And got the point across to some important people.
I had a feeling. I was a little anxious for a bit there.
Bit much with the theatrics, of course.
Well, yeah, but he's a musician. That's how they all are. Sorry, over the table to Matt.
You think I don't know? Sorry. Yeah, it's. I guess people go in for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it, but it makes him happy. So, with all of that, I know things are getting a little bit tight here. Have we not? Has it ever been put on the table to reach out to other countries for help?
Depends on what you mean.
Well, I know this is a sore spot for pretty much all of Chilestra, but do you think it would be a good sign of potential unity if, say, like Sonara were to give aid?
I was in Terra Vest recently for the attempted peace talks. Didn't go very well. Magli was Magli.
Mm-hmm.
And we left, and shortly afterwards, the ambassador from the Cabal was assassinated.
Yeah.
Hard to come back from that. Ara Lightpath, I don't know if you know her. She's been in charge of the Grand Accord since Illumina. And one of the situations we're in right now is that I want to get rid of Magli. But and Ara doesn't like Magli. But the Grand Accord can't be seen to be backing a usurper or trying to overthrow someone who's there. And everyone right now is very scared that the Grand Accord is going to break and the Chaos Wars are going to start again. Or some idiots are afraid that the Grand Accord is just going to declare itself the new empire, say that it owns everyone, and that the only law that matters is theirs. Already they've done some drastic things from some people's perspective, some intense actions. They have this order, the Order of Starlight, and we all agreed to them. All the councilors here and all the members of the Grand Accord agreed, but they go in and they fix problems as they see fit. That doesn't always gel with what the local governments want. But generally, I think they're better than harm. But the idea of we're in a bit of a struggle here, because the idea of overthrowing someone that's a member of the Accord is anathema to the Accord. And everyone's trying to make the Accord work. So if we apply to the other nations, they will rightly want to do it through the Accord.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
We've applied for humanitarian aid and gotten some. Magli doesn't push it as much as he should, but it's some. And then it's hard to apply for humanitarian aid when it was the covering that shattered. It's not like the covering only affects us.
Yeah. And this Order of Starlight, they've seen what's happening in Celestra.
I presume.
And they've just kind of looked at it and gone, that's not a problem that needs fixing. With like the plague or the, crops failing, which is connected to that, or, giant tidal wave. Well, that's new.
They've done some things, but they don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about this, but I don't know how close to the gossip you are, but Magli had a lover, and she was I don't think he cared about her one bit, honestly, but whatever. She cared about him, and he kept on promoting her through the ranks and put her in Juturo with a couple of people there. And she tried to frame the leader of Juturo for a crime.
Oh.
So that she could get promoted to be in charge of the garrison at Juturo, which I'm sure you know is the Juturo is the trade city, but it's also the border defense against Sunera.
Wait a second.
And the Order of Starlight went into that situation and uncovered the plot and had her arrested instead.
Was this recently?
Just before the covering fell.
Wow. Okay.
They saved some people's lives there,
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they work with a lot of autonomy. There's members of the Order of Starlight that I'm sure, truth be told, there's members of the Order of Starlight that I'm sure are good people and members of them I'm sure aren't. They work in small teams. That's what they've discovered is relatively effective, teams of roughly 4 to 6. And they travel the world and go where they are called and or where they decide to interpose themselves. Quick Eyes is a huge fan.
I'm sure. I mean, does Juno know his son is on the border?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't his son on the border of Sunara?
They saved his life.
Then yeah, he would be.
I hear his son's thinking about joining, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's a weird thing, though. They ask you to, if you're going to join, as a symbol of your impartiality, you're supposed to give up your whatever from your country. You're not. You're supposed to be impartial, right?
Yeah.
So once you become a full member, you're not allowed to inherit titles or anything from your country of origin. And so, I think General Quick Eyes is against it, but
yeah, understandable.
But it's hard to be when, again, sometimes they do so much good. This is all hush hush, of course. The Starlight didn't reveal that it was Magli's lover. They kept that information to themselves, but they told a witch who's a friend of mine in that area. He helped uncover it.
So how many lovers does he end up having? Because I know he has at least one illegitimate child running around the city. Maybe I shouldn't judge. I shouldn't judge.
Well, I mean, you know, one illegitimate child. I think there are more. There was. This was actually before you came back. But he got a series of death threats. He wasn't even. He was just on the council then. He wasn't Primarch or anything. But this was back then. But he got a series of death threats that Pearl Ironwalker took very seriously. Just someone, and it came out that this was a daughter of his, an illegitimate daughter that felt that she was supposed to be raised by him, and he and several others. She was very extreme. I want to preface that she was very comfortable with death, and managed to hire someone to enchant a spell. I don't know if you know this, but it's a high-level spell, a delayed fire blast.
Oh, wow.
And sent it directly to him in the mail.
Yikes.
He didn't open it.
Oh, no. Who did?
No, we don't know. It was opened in the general mail office.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah. So anyway,
gosh, he's not even nice to his own children.
They really ruined her. Exiled her to an island. Didn't treat her well. And Juno?
Yes.
At this point, I will tell you, because there's no way that Juno would not put it together, even though there's no way for you to put it together, that the story that Mela is telling you mirrors exactly the story that you heard from our Tinia.
Gotcha. Okay. How sure are they that she stayed in this island?
I mean, she was left there to die.
Right. Well.
So anyway, that's just me saying that we're kind of on our own. There's not a lot we can do. I mean, I have, as you know, I'm trying to build up my agents in other countries, in other places, try to find a way to accomplish more. I spoke to you about the recruit I made last time I was in Terra Vest.
Yes. Social bluntness might be an issue, but honestly, we all have difficulties there.
Yes.
It sounds promising.
We might be a little too nice for this business, but honestly, we could use a little bit more niceness, so I decided to take a chance.
Maybe. Well,
particularly since I knew where he stood.
Yes.
You should have seen it. I was there in this meeting. It was a peace talk negotiation, and the Primarch was like blustering all this and that and screaming at the Gavah for destroying the world and blah blah blah. And this like lizard folk just walks in and says, "I think peace is a good idea," and it was like the most adorable little thing I've
Oh,
ever seen. Oh my gosh! And he
oh,
gets it too.
I feel bad that I threatened him now.
No, it's fine. It's probably necessary.
Yeah. Um, for the record, she may have written a letter. Well, on the note of reaching out to other countries, I've been looking into different forms of magic lately as well, and I've been a little interested in the kind of magic that might evolve from Foxfolk in particular. I know this might be an awkward question to ask.
No, go ahead.
But I was thinking of potentially finding resources or points of contact in Sonara, and a good way to do that might be to start looking where I once was. I know we were talking about doing this at some point. And I know that there aren't any names or anything, but if I could have even an idea of close to where I came from.
Of course. I haven't really told you this story. I promise you more happenstance and the fact that you haven't asked than really intention.
Yeah.
But I was unsettled. The Chaos Wars were going on, and death was everywhere. Sunera had invaded and taken over a good chunk of our land, including Racy itself. And I felt like a woman without a country and without a purpose. Perilla was meeting Illumina at this point, and they were beginning the seeds of their work, but I didn't know that yet. And so I did what I always do. I went to the Magic Tower to do research and researched on sacred places, places that have power, places that have meaning. And I was curious. Sunera, was the enemy, but they had this place of power that wasn't far from the tower called Old Zaka, an ancient tree. Some people refer to it as one of the world trees. And a group of monks there maintain it and treat it well. And in essence, people apparently go there for clarity. They go to the tree and meditate before it, and the tree communes with them to some extent. I heard stories, of course, and I knew that such things were theoretically possible, but I hadn't really experienced anything like that. And there's a part of me that was like going to disprove, honestly. Yes, I'll go to see this great old tree, I thought, and I'd meditate before it, and nothing would happen, and then I could go my merry way and forget everything,
Mm-hmm.
But I went, and the monks there were very patient. They listened to me closely, and they didn't have Suneran war banners up, which I don't know why I expected, but I did. They were just there, living in the trees. And so I went and I meditated before Old Zaka. And I poured into her my problems, my troubles, and she helped ease my mind. She told me that the reason I was unsteady was that I had not been in touch with old friends, and that I should speak to old friends again, and that put me on the path to Perilla. And then she asked me to take responsibility for someone. And I said, who? And then I heard you cry.
So you found me at the World Tree,
Yes?
and the tree asked you.
Yes?
So Juno's a little gobsmacked. Do you think if maybe I should go there?
If I were looking for answers, I certainly think that there are worse places that you could go than a tree.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why I was there. I almost have more questions now.
Not often the case.
Yeah.
What have I always said? When you have questions, research.
True. I might have to look into this place.
Sure. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me.
Of course. Anything.
And thank you for agreeing.
Best decision of my life.
Oh, okay. So she'll there's going to be another awkward hug in your future, and then she hugs her.
Ah! Oh, okay.
Okay, but not very long. Not very long, because I know how you are. I'm going to break out the wine now, and she's going to break out the good wine.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And you spend an evening not really reminiscing, more talking about the detailed annals of weird spellcraft. Because that's the sort of people you are. You don't really talk so much about the history so much as like the here and now. And learn about that. It's fun. Sawin, how you doing?
Yeah, we're gonna impersonate gods and shit. Replace gods. Yeah, I think it's time that someone takes a walk.
Okay.
Pass an address.
Okay. Yeah. Are you trying to do this stealthily? Are you trying to do this incognito? Are you disguising yourself? Are you turning invisible? What's the plan?
Yeah, I suppose that
Do you want to just knock on the door and say hi?
no, not really.
Just asking.
I really don't want to do that. I really don't want him to touch me.
I get it. I don't really want him to touch me either. No, what do you want to do?
I think I will. Oh, a clarification question, because I was confused.
Okay.
From last time. So, Pale Whisper, is she a dragonborn or is she a lizard folk?
She's a lizard folk. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
If I misspoke, I may have misspoke.
Questions if she was a dragonborn. No, that's fine. I'm going to cast this. Well, how far away is this place? How far away is this?
Wherever you need to be. you can be safely away when you cast this and have enough time to get there.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to figure out.
Yeah,
because
no worries.
Itself is an hour. Yeah, I'm gonna dress up like a well-to-do-ish lizard folk,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna take a stroll by the house.
Nice. Yeah, good neighborhood to do that in. Perfect. Yes, you cast the disguise self.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm just tracking the. Yeah, so you take a stroll by the house. It's a seaside house. It's quite a nice view. Very wealthy people here. It's not uncommon for people to take an evening stroll, and some people look at you sort of questioningly, like, "Ooh, new person in the neighborhood," but you fit in perfectly. People assume that you belong there, and no one really bothers to like introduce themselves to you unless you introduce yourself to them first. But you recognize some people from the party with Thomas and from other places as well. This is like clearly like a well-off neighborhood in general. Yeah, roll a perception check if you're trying to case the joint.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like be real cash about it. Got an 11.
Yeah,
So that it's just a
it's a
house.
nice house. Looks like it's in good shape. Not really seeing anything from where you are across the street. You could get closer, but it would probably like at some point, the getting closer starts raising the suspicious meter. You know.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna pretend that like I'm not a lizard folk from Racy,
Mm.
and I'm just gonna stop somebody on the street and just ask about the architecture
Yeah. So I think
on
there's a
that
couple.
particular house.
I think there's a couple, and they are lizard folk as well. And they look at you. One's wearing like a foppish hat and a monocle
Uh-huh.
with a gold chain, and looks at you and says, yes, you need assistance, my good man, sir."
Yes, I'm not really from the city. I've just kind of here on a day trip, but I am really fascinated with the architecture of that house. Do you know what it's called?
Oh yes, that house is quite famous. It was made by the great lizard folk architect uh, Rusty Seed. Sure, we'll go for that. And yes, quite a famous lizard folk actually. He designed many great houses as well as a rather successful temple in as well. So much of his architecture was lost in the invasion, of course, during the Chaos Wars. But this house is one that remained. At the time, actually, it was considered quite a horrible location for some people because the occupying army, the leader of the occupying army, took a fancy to the house, and so moved in with his troops and whatnot, living in this neighborhood here among us, and operating his offensive and offensive tactics from there.
It's quite dreadful. Is the house a museum now, or?
Oh no, there's someone living in it. He's not particularly friendly in general, so I wouldn't like go there if I were you. If you were to move here, for example, you could absolutely knock any points like 4 doors down. That's our house, he says, and his wife sort of politely nods, and she says, "But please, anytime if you move here, you should knock there. In fact, would you like to come over for tea and cookies now?"
Oh no, I've had a big meal. But I appreciate you speaking with me
Mm.
and telling me about the house. Which temple did Rusty happen to work on in town? I would love to go see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was destroyed in the wars. He was one of the original sculptors of the Temple of Tamden, um, in its original form. They attempted to rebuild it in his image, but I've been told by some people that it's not quite the same. But I don't really know.
Ah, I see. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. And again, I do want to encourage you not to knock on his door. He's not the friendliest to start. It's not that you heard anything from me.
Oh, in the event if I do come to visit again, is what type of person is he besides a disagreeable fellow? Would I know him on sight or?
Oh, yes, rather distinctive in appearance. A tiefling of the ash color. Similar to the well, though not the same, of course, I would presume, but similar to the royal line of the Tuan Empire.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna make whatever like a disagreeable sound is for like I guess like tick my teeth or whatever.
Yeah, he has a strange name, doesn't he, dear? And she says, "Yes, a very foreign sounding. Alep, Pala. I can't remember. Tis no matter. I can't recall either. He doesn't ingratiate himself to us, and so we don't deal with him."
I that sounds like it sounds like there's no love lost. So
I brought him a
sorry
pie
to hear
once,
that.
but he never returned to the tin, and he ate it with his hands in front of me. It was uncouth.
Well, I should say so. You never eat with your so I'm just gonna like thank them for their time, and I'm just gonna like wander back. So did they like before I go, did they rebuild the temple of Tamden in the same place?
Hmm. Yeah, it's the same place, and theoretically, it's the same like structure, but some people say it's not quite the same. That like there's something about the balance is off or something. Yeah, they try to recreate Rusty Seed's designs.
Got it.
But you know,
Cool. That gives me confirmation that Alepum does live there, and now I know which house specifically I can research.
Mhm.
In the library.
I like it. It's a good plan.
Which you have. No, I can't. Yeah, so I'm gonna bid them a fond farewell.
Ta-ta.
Yeah, I just kind of like bow. I'm not wearing a hat, so.
Yes. And he turns and, well, he was quite pleasant. I kind of wish that, you can overhear him just speaking. And I know he was quite pleasant. I could see him moving into the neighborhood. That would be quite lovely, wouldn't it? Well, you always want to be careful. You never know with these country sorts. Is he from Hille? And that would be, of course, fine. But he could also be from one of the tribes. And that could be quite uncomfortable. Oh, yes, you're right. I hadn't considered he might be from one of the tribes. That sort of condescending, awful human talk out on the way out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. They can talk all they want because this man does not exist. Um, yeah, so I guess I would leave and try to go do research on that particular house then, and just look up Rusty's architecture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will write something up and get it to you if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good. Because Rusty was invented 2 minutes ago. Kaz, how you doing?
Yes. Very much so am doing. So before, my only other plans for today are seeing Juno about the spell stuff. So
perfect. Let's do it.
Well, before that, this doesn't have to be a scene, but I just wanted to get, if it's available in the city, the materials for Revivify.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. I want to get like 2 diamonds if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. The guards have diamonds there for use, for members of the guards, and they don't ask questions.
Okay, I'm gonna keep 2 of them on my person then.
Sounds good. You got them.
All right, and after that, I will head over to Juno's.
The guards are there, and the door is opened, and Mela is there holding a glass of wine, and says, "Kazan, enter! Come on in!"
She drunk?
No.
You're muted.
Faye, We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Juno's gonna be like, she's had one glass, but that's all she needs. Like, Kaz, hi. Right. Yes, I asked you to come visit.
I've just never had such a warm welcome, but it's appreciated.
I just felt like the night for it. Come on in. Have a glass. And she like starts looking around for a glass. Juno, can you get a glass, please?
Oh yeah. So she gets up and gets a glass, and also just kind of like looks at you, Kaz, and is like, "Do you want non-alcoholic?"
You
Or
like when you look at Kaz, her eyes are like swollen, and there's like mascara marks. She doesn't wear mascara, but just the visual.
I'm gonna get you water.
No, water's
'Cause-
good.
Okay, but also water because you're dehydrated.
Okay.
So you'll have two glasses. You'll have one giant thing of water because you're dehydrated, and she's going to look at you and mention this again and set this down. And then a glass of wine, and also she's going to just like discreetly give her a handkerchief if she needs it.
Blow my nose into
So,
Are you?
how are you, Kaz?
Never better.
Really?
Never been better.
That's great to hear.
Mm.
I am glad of this.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when you are never better. Have you solved your problem?
Neither one, no.
Wow. And yet still never better. Because I don't know if I've really said this enough. But I have something really important to say.
Okay.
She was just pouring herself another.
I think
Like
it's
bracing
really
myself.
that I remember to say thank you.
Oh, for saving your life, right?
Yes, literally.
How do you forget that?
And like, obviously things could have turned out better in some ways, but the fact that I am alive, this is something that I am quite grateful. I was just talking to my Juniper here earlier about some old memories, and it got me thinking about some time I spent with a very wise tree, and it said a lot of things, but or she said a lot of things, but I think gratitude is an important thing, and so I just want to make sure that it's very clear to you, Kazan. Some Nubja Matui, can't remember your full name, that you feel thanked. So thank you. Obviously, if you need something to further this thanks, I will happily provide whatever it is that I can provide when I provide things that I provide. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you need time alone with my Juniper?
Do we? Or is
Oh,
she gonna be
we're
here?
going to be seeing if we can extend a purify food and water spell.
Well, you guys have fun. And she grabs the wine bottle and walks upstairs.
Juniper, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I almost regretted saving her life just then.
God, I'm so sorry. I asked her a question about my childhood, and then I offered her wine, and apparently that was a bad combination.
It was a great combination.
It was a great combination, yes. But I did find out some things. I was found in a tree. So, but yeah, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm great. I talked to Lady Iria, and she's on board with everything.
Okay.
She said she's reaching out to some people who she thinks would be on board too, and acquiring funds.
Do you think we should induct her into the new order? Wait, that's bad. That's okay. The order?
I mean, do we? I didn't have an induction. Did you have an induction? I just kind of showed up.
Not really. Yeah, she just said, "Hey, you should be there at this time," and then I was.
Yeah, so I guess she's already
kind of there. I mean, she knows that we exist, right?
Well, she knows I'm not alone, but I didn't tell her exactly who. Didn't seem necessary.
Well, right. Yeah, maybe we can see who she's reaching out to and get them in our circle, so to speak. And oh gosh, sorry, I'm having you use her, and I mean,
it's not something I asked her to do. She asked me if I would be able to reallocate the funds that she acquires and put that to good use.
Oh, the funds. Oh, reallocate the okay. So we might be getting a bunch of grain soon, but we need 20,000 gold dollars. 20,000 to receive it. Do you think some of that funds might come from that source?
Certainly, I can't think of anything more important right now. Well, it's one of the very important things that our people are fed.
Yes, exactly. And okay, I will let Thomas know. Everything is stressing him, but I think he's also stressed about that. He's just stressed in general. Has he ever not been stressed?
Well, no, but I don't know how his skin looks so amazing, even though like he's always like fretting. Like, I mean, like, look at me, man. Like, I think my eye bags are down to my mouth now.
No, Kaz, you're beautiful.
No, I'm not being down on myself. It's all right.
But yeah, I think it's the water thing. Like, I think it's the whole like water, sea, wind god thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just kind of like keeps him fresh. But I think he might be so stressed really because like, this is a guy who like willingly sought out a pirate as a lover. I think he doesn't know anything other than stress. But this will help him.
I hope so. So yeah, he's getting the food?
Yeah, he'll be getting the food, but I think we can distribute it from us so that, who doesn't get the credit. Yeah. But yeah, okay, spell. Is it okay if we do spell?
I can do spell. I have spell prepared.
That is exciting. Can you do spell twice?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so oh no, sorry. Yes. You can do how many times?
3 times.
3 times? Okay. So for science purposes, what Juno wants to do, she wants to have a control and so she's gonna have like 2 bowls of she'll basically poison them using some like toxic herbs that they have lying around because and she's going to have her cast purify on one just plain, and then the second time going to try to make her focus on the feather, and she's going to try to explain the tether thing.
Okay, so you're trying to get Kaz to do this.
Yeah, because right now Juno doesn't know this spell, but she is going to also have Kaz explain this spell in great detail, which is going to be really great for Kaz, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think, Juno, I need you to roll just an intelligence check here.
Yeah. Let me go on to that section. That is an 8, friends. I mean, I do have inspiration still, but I didn't say that beforehand. So she's also had a glass of wine, an entire glass.
Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so Kaz, purify food and drink, trying to get it to expand outwards is really, really hard. You can get it to be this like 5-foot cube radius sphere or whatever. But like getting it to go beyond that, for some reason, there's just like it feels like there's a limit to what you can do, right? Like it just feels like a wall. You're spending this much energy, you get that much result. Just because there's this feather that you can tether things through doesn't mean that like you can expand what you're doing, right? It feels like it almost feels silly, right? You don't like it's hard to even imagine what she means. Tie this spell around this feather. Spells aren't string.
Yeah, Juno, I think this is a no-go for me. This isn't really how my magic usually works. So
Oh, that's okay. It's worth a shot. I'll do some more research on my own. In the meantime, though, can you purify this bowl that we didn't manage to purify just because I don't want to have poison that I dump into the ground?
yeah,
Thank you. You're the best.
Dink.
Do you want dinner?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll make you dinner.
Oh.
And she's going to make Kaz dinner. Kaz is staying for dinner.
Okay. Beautiful. And I think we're going to have one more very short scene. Hyper short. At some point, Thomas, you return to the temple. And there is a letter waiting for you.
Okay, what's it look like? Who's it from?
It looks very formal. And it says, deliver to the hand of Thomas Dagmar and no other.
Ooh. Oh.
So, okay. All right. Is someone else holding it in a bare or a gloved hand, or is it just chilling on his desk?
It is on your desk currently.
Okay. Hmm. 1 second. Looking at some spells. Do I recognize the handwriting? Can I like do some kind of check for that, or
Definitely do not recognize his handwriting. You've never seen it.
Okay.
At least I don't think so. If you have, you can correct me later. But I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it before, and you certainly haven't seen it enough.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Do you want me to eat it, boss?
You know, it was a thought I had, but I don't want anything to happen to you.
Probably just indigestion.
Um,
Not go flying for a couple of days. Have to lie on my back, be fed fish.
yes, that's exactly what will happen. He's gonna run through the usual escalation of touching a thing that you're suspicious of. He's gonna take a pencil and kind of like poke at it.
Nothing.
Okay. He's gonna take another pencil and pick it up as if with chopsticks.
It's sealed.
Okay. Is there anything on the seal, or is it just like wax? Huh?
Roll a history check.
First thing, not praise. 12.
Yeah. This seal is vaguely familiar to you. It takes you a second to place it, but there's like a bookseller, or maybe a publishing company or something that uses the seal. It's a picture of a phoenix.
Okay. I have no idea what this is. He's gonna go and find some gloves.
Okay. Yeah, you have them. Of course, you have gloves in your office. You're Thomas. You have them right there.
You know, for all those freezing racy winters. Yeah, he's gonna like pick it up with the gloves.
Mhm.
Anything happen?
Nope.
Okay. He's gonna get a letter opener and kind of open it lengthwise.
Mhm.
Kind of
Nothing
shake it out on the desk. Anything?
Nothing comes out.
Okay. Listen. This
I get
is
it.
political intrigue.
I get it.
No,
I'm not going out
I
like
would do
this.
The exact same thing in the exact same way. Promise you.
Unsettlingly specific, okay? And I think the sender might understand that, although I still have no idea who it is. Okay, he's gonna like gingerly kind of extract the paper and see what's inside.
Dear Thomas Dagmar, we have not yet met formally, but several of my friends have implied to me that you might be someone that I should speak to if I were not a fan of certain situations currently going on in Race C. If you would like to speak further on this, I would appreciate the chance to meet with you face to face in a private location. I have my own security if you'd be willing to meet me at my place, but if not, send a letter back and I will come to you. Sincerely, Lady Iria.
Okay, I did not remember that.
No worries.
And the stamp had a phoenix on it, huh?
It did.
Okay. That makes a couple things from earlier games make more sense. All right, he's gonna sit down and he's going to write out a response. Nice paper, beautiful calligraphy. Accepting, an invitation, asking if she's, available at mentally running through his calendar, such and such a time tomorrow.
Yep. Absolutely. Done.
He's also going to ask Mercury to return it immediately because he doesn't want anybody getting their hands on it who might be skulking around the temple.
Sure, boss. You want me to knock on the window?
You
want me to deliver it at the front door?
Yes. Yeah. Just leave it with whoever's there. I mean, I'm sure it won't go amiss. Who would want to steal something like a letter?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Takes it and flies off. And that is where we will leave tonight's episode. Wow. Okay. Lots of stuff. Let's go check in on some beliefs and all that good stuff and get some experience points for this party. Etc., etc., etc. Let's see how we're doing. Nice. Okay. Wow. You guys are raking in the experience points. Cool. Let's check this out. Did you guys learn anything about Magli, his conspirators, or anything like that?
Yes.
Great. And our traditional nominating of other people, did they embrace or embody their class or species or background in some way, shape, or form?
Someone's doing covert bard stuff, disguising himself, charming people.
Someone, you have been nominated. Do you accept your nomination?
Sure.
Okay, someone, do you want to nominate someone?
Juno was doing her research on trying to see if they could buff Kaz's Purify Water.
Juno, do you accept your nomination?
Sure thing.
Excellent. Do you want to nominate someone?
Kaz with her I don't know, I found it interesting that she hold on, sorry. I have an echo. I think Kaz with her conversation with Lady Iria and
So
the
not sure.
possibility of breaking her vow, I think was
Very
decided
cool.
to keep it.
Yeah. Very paladin-y. Vows, always paladin-y. I like it. Works for me. Kaz, do you accept your nomination?
I sure do.
Excellent. Would you like to nominate Thomas?
Yes, because Thomas arranged for food for the city.
Yeah,
Take care
I
of the
agree.
city.
Talk about an acolyte background in action. Beautiful. Did you overcome a challenge or an obstacle this episode, or work towards one? Thomas.
I think that the challenges he faced were minuscule enough that they would not necessarily register, just because that's the level of stress under which he's operating daily now.
I think that's totally fair and reasonable. Solid.
I don't think so.
Okay. Totally fair. Kaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very true. Juniper.
Yes.
I agree. Seems very true. And last but not least, let's check in with those beliefs. Did you work towards or accomplish your belief? We'll go backwards this time. Juniper.
I worked towards it.
I agree. Kaz.
I think I accomplished it.
I agree. Zawin.
I began working on confirming his address, so yes.
I agree. And Thomas.
Yes, I worked towards and achieved the family Zoom meeting info dump.
I agree. Beautiful. Okay. That's 19 points all around, guys. Rah-rah team. Gotta love it. Whoa.
Whoa.
We have celebratory music now when we do that. Yay, experience points.
That's our level up sound.
I don't know if
Oh God.
the Hunza violin concerto is really a good level up sound, but if you guys like it, we can keep it. No problem.
It was energetic.
It's
It wakes you
very
up.
weird. Sorry. Okay.
It's very thematic because someone plays the violin.
Thanks, go.
Yeah, I don't often use music in my games because I get distracted by the music very easily. It's a real problem for me. It doesn't even matter like whether it's like great music or background music or whatever. Like sometimes music is just distracting to me. I was playing a video game the other day. I was playing Breath of the Wild the other day, and I was just sitting there staring into the sunset for a while, just listening to the score, not doing anything. And then several undead creatures came up behind me and killed me, and I wasn't paying attention because I was just listening to music. It happens. I'm like that. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. Guys, it's always a pleasure to play with you all. I am enjoying this story immensely and loving the many directions in which it's being pulled and headed, and I'm excited to see where you all choose to take it. That is one of the great pleasures of running games like this, is that I get to see where you guys all want to go and then go there with you. And that is just the best from my perspective. Again, if you like our content, please like, follow us, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Heck, tell your friends, maybe. The show's pretty fun. And we'll see you next time we see you. And yeah, go live a good and happy life, and never forget to call your cat or feed your mom, or preferably both. Bye.